The Onion Gold is our draft beer. This has 4.6%. Then similar to that is the Onion Pilsner. This has 5%, a little bit heavier than the Gold. Then you've got two real ales. You've got the Special. This has a more fruity taste to it, also 5%. Then you have the Bitter. This has more of a chocolate coffee taste to it, also 5%. Then we have the Onion Epos. This is our barley wine. This has 7.5% and it's made with local honey. And then my favourite, 1842. This is our ginger beer. This has 2% alcohol and it's called 1842 because that's when the British came here to Corfu and they brought the first brewery with them and they brewed ginger beer. That's all of that. So those are our beers, all natural, no preservatives, no colouring, all pasteurised. They're not pasteurised or anything like that. So main ingredients, barley, hops, yeast and water. This is the barley. We have it in a seed form. So the first thing we do is we bring the water up from our spring well and it's filtered through a reverse osmosis. And then we take, so it has the right pH, mineral and hardness levels. So it has to have the right levels for it to be good for the beer. From there it goes into the brew house. Brew house has two big tanks, you see when we got in. Water goes into the first tank, we warm it up. Barley goes through a mill into the water and it does a mixing process. Then it goes into the second tank and the second tank has a filter and it filters out all the little bits that we don't want. And then back into the first one. We bring it to boiling point and we add the hops. Now this takes between 10 to 12 hours depending which beer we've got. Then from there it goes into the whirlpool. The whirlpool is another filtration and we bring the beer down between 12 to 15 degrees depending which beer we've got. And then from there into the fermentation tanks. We've got closed fermentation tanks and it's got the closed at the bottom. The old way of making beer would be open at the top, you scoop the yeast out, but it meant it's open to all the elements. So ours are closed. So you can do fermentation and maturing in the same tank. So during the fermentation is where we add the yeast and it takes 1 week for fermentation. Then after that we bring it down to 0 degrees and it's another 3 weeks for maturing. So it takes just over 4 weeks for each beer to be made, except for the barley wine, that takes about 3 months. It takes much longer. It does double maturing, double fermentation, so it takes much longer. It's got higher alcohol levels in it as well. So once it's ready, it goes into another tank and it's brought down to -2. The reason it's brought down to that temperature is so it can go through the bottling machine. If it's too warm or the pressure's too high, then it will fob over and you can't fill the bottles. It's a certain pressure, certain temperature. From there, obviously it goes into the bottling machine. You'll see the bottling machine, but we put the bottles on, labels it, sterilises it with hot water, fills it, caps it, comes out the other side and we put it into a cardboard box. The reason we use cardboard boxes is to stop the sun from damaging them and it also keeps it cool. So once you've got a pallet of beers downstairs into the fridge, because it's all natural so it doesn't have any preservatives, so it has to stay in the fridge. Also, because it's not pasteurised, it means that the yeast is still alive. So if you leave it out in the sun for too long, then it starts doing another fermentation and it goes off. We're going to go in and have a look around. Just be careful because the floors can be wet and there are pipes in the floor, so just be a bit careful. Come and then from there it goes into any of these here. These are the fermentation tanks. During fermentation, you'd have water or beer in here and it would bubble. During the maturing, it's very cold, so this has condensation like this one here. So it has condensation. This is the maturing. To touch, it's not so cold.